everyone, my name is Haley and welcome back to the Flock SMP. So as you saw in the last episode, we cleared out that entire ocean monument over there, walls and all, everything's gone, and now we have a couple of double chests of prismarine just sitting out there, and I think that today we are going to start off the episode by making my first little shop at spawn where we're going to sell that prismarine, because I know there's quite a few members of the server who are interested in having some of that, so that they can build with it and make conduits and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to first have to go find a desert, because I'm planning on making kind of a miniature sand castle at spawn, which is going to be my shop for the prismarine, and we need a lot of sand and sandstone to be able to do that. So I know in that direction there is a mesa and a desert, and we're gonna head over to that area. Please just let it be nighttime so I can sleep, please, and thank you. We're gonna head over there and try to collect up some of that. Okay guys, so I have a whole full inventory pretty much of sand and sandstone here. Don't mind my head, I needed to clear a spot in my inventory. I wanted to get as much of this stuff as I possibly could, which I probably could have thrown a couple more things away, but I think this will be plenty for what we need to do. And also, I went to get in my boat, and we have a friend here with us, and I kind of feel bad. I feel like I should just leave him here, because, oh, hello. I know the turtles, they just swim back to their beach anyway, so I think we need to break the boat, let him go. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to hit you. I don't know where the boat went now. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's just let that turtle go. We can get turtles another time. That's not what we are here for today, so let's sail on back over to our base, or actually, yeah, let's go to our base and then take the nether portal to spawn, I think. I believe there is one, like, at spawn already. Someone made a nether portal at spawn. So let's go ahead and head on over there. Alright, you guys, I have made it over to my little island, and I have all of our materials here that we're going to be using. I didn't bring a lot of prismarine because I'm going to have to go back to get it to stock the shops anyway, so I didn't want to, like, overfill my inventory. I just brought enough to build the things we need to build with it, and then I brought a ton of sandstone and a few stacks of sand as well. And the first thing we're going to actually do is replace all of this grass with sand, because this is going to be like a little sandcastle beachy area, and I don't really want the grass or the gravel here. So we're going to kind of terraform this land up a little bit, maybe make some like slabs and stairs out of sandstone to get some better like dimension in the landscape here, but I'm going to work on that first before I work on the structure of the sandcastle. Alright, so we have our little island here, and now I'm going to kind of start mapping out where I want the sandcastle bit to go. I'm thinking I kind of want... Let's see, I want the entrance to be facing this way, I believe, because that's kind of where spawn is. Facing this way doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, although we could have the entrance be an underwater entrance, because I was kind of thinking I want to do like some caves, sort of, like underwater caves underneath this. So maybe if we were to, I need to move this crafting table and stuff, but if we were to like carve out a little hole in the center, I don't really know, just something like that maybe, and then have it kind of come out through right here, and then you would just kind of swim along over to the rest of where spawn is. That kind of might look cool, and then up here we wouldn't have to have any entrance on here, and all of the wall surface could be for actually like actual shop stuff. So what if we do something like this, and I kind of want the corners to be rounded like so, partially because it'll be better for chests, I think, but also, well, that kind of just looks like a circle. On a bigger scale, if we had just these like little rounded corners, it would kind of make it seem like, because you know when you put a sandcastle down, it's not like 100% completely square. It's got a little bit of weird, like, rounded edges, but this is just like too rounded, I think. So I don't really know what to do about that. I don't know. I'm gonna kind of experiment a little bit, but I like the idea of having the underwater entrance. I think we're gonna stick with that, but I'm gonna experiment with like the shape of the building and stuff. Okay, so we've got kind of a base shape going on here. It's like sort of a square, but I have the corners cut off to give it a little bit more of a rounder edge. And then for the top part here, what we're going to do is actually, we're gonna make like, I don't know, these little things here. I don't know what they're called, but like, you know how castles have like these on the roofs, right? So we're gonna do that, but we're going to make them out of these stripped birch logs. So if we do this, like so, and then what we're going to do is, I don't have enough slabs on me, but we're going to put the slabs underneath the ones that are on the top, and then on top of the ones that are underneath, or what am I even saying? We're gonna put the slabs underneath the higher level logs and on top of the lower level logs. I like totally spasmed there and I have no idea what I just said, but okay, doesn't matter. So this is kind of the look that we're going for these. Let me jump down here and get some more slabs going, and I need to punch a hole back in this wall right here, get some slabs out of this sandstone. And let's hop around here and see how this is kind of gonna look. I think it's too tall. When it was, I had it a little bit wider, and when it was that wider look, it looked better, but I think I need to take it down a couple blocks. It just looks like way too tall. There, I definitely think that looks like a much better height. So let's go ahead and do that all the way around this top edge, and then we'll work on some details in the walls. So I have this little border thing going around the top, but I'm kind of curious as to if it would look better with birch, because I think it would be closer in color to the logs, and then maybe, like, right now it just kind of looks kind of choppy. I think I like it with the birch slabs a bit more, so we're gonna try that instead. Yeah, that definitely looks better, I think. So the next step, I think, is going to be kind of making some like windows or something in the walls here. And I also like to do something with fences and sea lanterns. I think it looks really cute. I forgot how to make fences. Wow, I'm so good at this game. Let's make some of these fences and get some sea lanterns, which I can only make 18, so let's make these last a little bit, but it's kind of cute to like, oh, crap. Now I'm gonna have to break that one and I'll have one less. Darn it. To kind of put them like that, and then like if this is closed up, they kind of just look like little things hanging there. I think they're super cute. And then as far as this, maybe like just a window in the center with, actually I can put these back because I usually use sandstone stairs. I kind of have some stuff planned out in a creative world that gives me an idea of what I like to do for these, and then I would put like a stained glass in the center there. This kind of looks like a fish. Like those are the eyes and that's like the mouth. I don't know, that's kind of weird. I don't know if I like that anymore. Maybe I'll get rid of these. It kind of breaks my heart breaking them though, because I only have a very limited number. But I just kind of don't really like the look of that anymore. Because, I don't know, but then do I even like this window? Should I just put the window straight into the wall instead of having it come out a little bit, like straight in, and maybe do like one of these? I have no idea. Or maybe not with the side ones, just like the up and down ones, possibly. Or the alternative is I don't do any windows, I just do, like, yeah, see, I don't know if I like the little hanging things now, because whatever I do in this center bit, maybe instead of the hanging ones, maybe I need to do them on stands around the corners, that might be a little bit better. So let's plan on doing that instead, just kind of having these around on all four corners, just on little like stands, sort of like little light posts almost. I think that'll look okay, and then we can do something with a little bit more detail here in the center. If I take this back out real quick, get my slabs and stairs. Maybe put this back. Do something along the lines of this. Actually, no, I would take these out. Just kidding. Do that with the stairs there, and then the same thing up on the top with the slabs. And then maybe fences along here, and then I would put stained glass on the inside. It kind of looks too big for the wall. No, maybe it doesn't. I think that would look okay. Because, like, I just feel like there needs to be some sort of detail on there. So let me try doing that, like, all the way around on all four sides and see if that looks okay. Okay, this is the first time I'm seeing the shop, like, from the mainland, and I think it looks nice, but we definitely need to have something there to, show that it's a prismarine shop. So maybe I'll put prismarine in the windows too, and then the inside will just kind of be like it'll be dark, but I think it'll be nice. I think it'll look good. Okay, so I put prismarine in the windows, and I think it looks okay. It's not the best, but it does kind of show that this is like what the shop kind of sells, so I'm fine with it. And then I also put this little like detail up in the roof a little bit, just because I felt like it needed something else here. Otherwise the windows look really, really weird from the inside. So I think this looks okay. And then I guess the next thing that we need to do is start digging out the underwater tunnel, and trying to figure out how that is all going to work. So I'm going to work on that. And oh, hello. Thanks. But yeah, I'm gonna work on that and then get back to you guys once I've got something kind of going on here. So I think the cave now is pretty much done, and I added some prismarine around the outside just to make sure it's visible. At night it is because it's lit up, but I wanted to make sure that in the day it also, you can tell that this is the entrance. So it comes in through here and then comes up like this. I have not filled it all with water yet though, so that is going to be my next task. And I thought, just in case some of you weren't aware, you can actually make flowing water into source blocks. So like if I put this right here, like that's flowing water. Then if I need to take this out so it's just on a flat surface. If I put this there, that turns that all into source blocks, and it just makes it a lot easier to swim when everything is source blocks. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next few minutes, just going through and making sure everything is nice and waterlogged. So I will get back to you guys once that is done, and then after that, I think this whole cave is pretty much going to be done. I'm going to add like a little bit of seagrass, maybe some kelp. Other than that, everything should be completed. Alright, so as you can see, we now have all of the water in place. The last step is I'm going to grab, I know I had a couple of bones. Did I throw them out? I might have. I might have been dumb and thrown the bones out of my chest, which sucks because I wanted to bone meal some seagrass. We might have to wait for it to turn night and kill a skeleton or two. But in the meantime, I can go ahead and place all of the kelp that I would want. So maybe I'll put some right in there. Probably that'll be a good spot for some seagrass. Maybe some right here might work nicely. Oh, better get out of here before I drown. But yeah, this is kind of the little platform that we have for people to stand on while they are shopping, like so. And then I'm going to fill this window in the same way that I did the rest of them. So this will all be enclosed, and the only way in or out will be to go through this little section down here. So that's pretty much everything for this shop. I'm gonna get some bones, bone meal, some seagrass in, and other than that, this thing should be complete in the next clip. And here we are with the 100% completed build The outside, I think, looks pretty decent. Not like my favorite thing that I've ever done, but I think it works, and it definitely kind of looks like it's prismarine that we're selling because I put these little prismarine clusters here and there on this little island. But now the part that's really the best of this whole build is this underwater tunnel, which I think looks really, really cool. We've got all this seagrass and this greenery in here now, and it just makes this whole place kind of come alive. And you swim up here onto this little like perch area, and you can purchase your prismarine, and you'll be all set for whatever build you decide you're going to use this for. So I'm very, very happy with this. Obviously, I have not stocked it yet. I need to go run back to my base to do that. So that's my next step. And then after that, I think we're going to go maybe get a little bit of a start on our actual Guardian farm because we want to make sure this keeps a nice stock in it and we don't run out of prismarine to sell. So I'm going to finish up taking these materials back and stocking up the shop, and then I will see you guys back at my base. Okay guys, so it is the next day now, as in like I slept and woke up this morning, and I actually checked my shop. All of the prices had been set before I went to bed last night, and I woke up to 9 diamonds, which was absolutely lovely. So the shop is definitely working very well, but I want to make sure that we can keep this thing stocked. So we're going to start working on this Guardian farm today. I'm using the design made by Cub Fan 135, I believe. And I'm sure you all probably have seen it, or most of you. It was on Hermitcraft this season, and I think it looks like a really interesting design that is definitely less like resource heavy. I don't have to go collect a bunch of sand and fill in the ocean. We just use what's kind of already here and build around it a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some steps to prepare all of the materials we're going to need. We're going to need a lot of fence gates and a lot of different kind of blocks. So I don't know what kind of blocks I would want to use though. That's the issue because it's so close to my base. I want it to look nice. So possibly, I think for now we're just going to use maybe some glass. We can go get a bunch of glass from the desert, maybe sprinkle in some prismarine since we already have some of that. But I think that's going to be our plan. We're going to go get some glass, and we're also going to need a lot of fence gates. So I'm going to go get some spruce saplings because that will, oh gosh, I'm going to get zapped by these guardians. That, sorry if I'm lagging a little bit. I'm actually rendering a video right now. So, but yeah, the spruce trees, you can grow them in like a 2x2 and then they'll grow up super tall and they're really easy to chop down that way and you get a lot of wood for them. So that's going to be what we use. So once I have some of these materials, I will check in with you guys and we can actually get started building. Alright guys, so unfortunately the audio for all of these clips that you're seeing got really messed up, so this is just a voiceover that you're hearing right now, explaining to you the process that I took while building this farm. So first, you build this little platform in the very center, marking the middle of the monument. Then you build around in a 32 by 36 distance around the center. You build this little glass wall, and then the next step is you're going to put a platform in the middle all the way throughout this glass walled enclosure. I chose netherrack because you're going to remove it later and that's a fast block to dig. Big thank you to Professor Taco for donating some netherrack to me because it was actually the perfect amount without a block to spare. So thank you so much for that. Also, in the middle of building this platform, it's Carl and Nexon decided they wanted to try to prank me, and it did not work. Carl ended up dying to a guardian, and then I had to go pick up all his stuff, but it was actually really funny, so thank you so much for the little laugh that I got there while placing all of that netherrack, because that was starting to get quite boring. But anyway, moving on to the next step in this dreadful process, which was what I like to call fence gate hell, because it's literally just a bunch of placing fence gates upon fence gates upon fence gates, and then water all over the place. It makes you really slow, and then you have to open all the fence gates and try not to accidentally close the fence gates while you're trying to open other fence gates. And it just, oh, this part makes me shudder. Like, it gives me actual anxiety thinking about all of these fence gates. I never want to hear the word or see a fence gate ever again in my entire life. Like, it just, oh, scarred me for life. But anyway, once the fence gates were all in, the next step was to, I guess, kind of as you're putting in the fence gates, you're going to build the glass wall up higher so that the water that you're eventually going to place down can be contained within the glass. And then after that, you're going to put a bunch of source blocks underneath the fence gates and then a bunch of flowing water on top of the fence gates so that when the bubble columns push the guardians up, they will go through the fence gates and into the flowing water, which will then go into the collection tube at the end. So that's this whole process. It took so long, took so much wood, but this is a shot of everything all kind of completed, and then me putting in all of the flowing water on top. It actually looks pretty cool, but it was just so awful to actually build. Next, I did the collection tube. Oh, actually, next I did the slab roof so that nothing can spawn on top, but having a cover over it makes the guardians spawn a lot faster. Then I did the collection tube with lava in it so that the guardians will get damaged and then be easier to kill once they hit the bottom. And then after that, Jem stopped over and was like astonished that I was doing this whole thing without a conduit. So he actually just let me borrow one for free, which was very, very nice of him. So thank you so much. This is me testing a theory in a creative world that if we put source blocks on the side and then remove the sand blocking them, they'll just kind of form themselves in, which worked, which I was so excited about because that means I didn't have to be in the water dying with the guardians. So that's what I started doing here. I put a layer of sand and then a layer of source blocks. It has to be source blocks. That's a very important step. Then I just went up layer by layer doing the same thing all over. And then the next thing I did was replaced all of the floor on the bottom with soul sand so that I could make sure that the blocks were all source blocks, and including this layer that is the guardian or the monument ceiling. This also has to be source blocks, or else the bubble columns will just stop there at this point. So that's what I'm doing now. And then after that, this is just a spectator account view to make sure all of the bubbles are going all the way to the top, which they were. Which that means the next step was to put in all of the soul sand throughout the rest of the floor. And I was dumb and decided to just knock out that entire little wall there, meaning a bunch of guardians could just get in and try to kill me. So that was kind of dumb. Eventually I got smart about it and built myself a little enclosure and did it like piece by piece. And here is like the finished product of that section. I wish I had gotten rid of that water though, because that caused problems for me later. Here I'm just putting in the last of the soul sand and then starting to knock down some of the bubble columns in the way, or not bubble columns, some of the sand columns. The way I did this is I removed one entire wall of sand, and then with the other wall I went layer by layer. So I did one sand column and then swam up, or built up with some netherrack, and removed one entire row of the ceiling. So I did kind of like layer by layer, just removing the sand, which made the bubble columns form, and removing the ceiling at the same time. So it was kind of like an all-in-one process. I didn't have to put in all the water and then remove all the ceiling. It was like piece by piece, and it worked really, really well. So if any of you are thinking of building one of these, I highly, highly recommend this method. Make sure you replace all of the soul sand as you go as well, or else the source blocks won't form correctly. And then also, as you're digging out the ceiling, only dig out ceiling where there are already soul sand and source blocks, making the bubble columns go all the way up to the top, because otherwise the guardians can just linger if there's no bubble columns and they will try to kill you. So definitely only remove the ceiling where the bubble columns are already formed. But then after this, it was just kind of the same process over and over. That's a little shot of kind of the midpoint. And then this last clip was such a joyous occasion because it was the last few blocks that needed to be dug out, and I was so happy that this project was almost over because it was actually so terrible. I hated building this thing, but I'm so glad it's done now. Anyway, while you're watching this last clip here, I want to kind of go over one more time all of my steps and tips for building one of these. So first, do the entire top portion first. That means the glass, the fence gates, all the water, the collection tube, all of that. Do that first, because otherwise you're going to have a really hard time later. Number two, make sure the walls inside the monument are built. So all of the walls that like match up, line up with the glass walls, build all those second. Third, you're going to line 2 of the walls that intersect at a corner with your source blocks of water and your sand, or gravel, whichever one you decide you want to use. Something that adheres to gravity is usually best. And then after that, you're going to actually first make sure they're all source blocks. You have to make sure every single thing is source blocks, including the ceiling layer of the monument. Number 4, you're going to put the soul sand all the way throughout the entire floor, including the little area that is not actually inside the monument that you have to kind of dig out. Number 5, you're going to get rid of all of the water within the entire monument, because otherwise that just causes a lot of problems. That's the step that I missed that I wish I had done. Number 6, you're going to remove 1 entire wall of sand, whichever wall you decide. And then 7, you are going to go layer by layer, block by block, removing the sand columns and then digging out the ceiling, and then sand column, dig out the ceiling. And you're just going to do that all the way until you get to the last row, and then you have to make sure all of the source blocks are in place, and you should be good to go. That is the last step, and it is so satisfying when that actually happens. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and hop back onto the Flock SMP. You guys, I cannot believe I am about to say this, but it is done, and it is working marvelously, as you can see. Like, look at all of these guardians. They're just dropping down there in that lava and to their deaths. Like, this is just unbelievable that this actually is finished. And I know, I'm sorry this episode was kind of jumpy. I just realized, like, while editing, that a lot of the clips, the audio for some reason was blown out. Like, my microphone gain got turned up or something, which really sucks. But yeah, so this is just a lot of like clips kind of spliced together so you could see kind of the process of what I was doing. I probably added like some voiceover here and there, like explaining what I'm doing, because that's what I was doing anyway in those clips, but the audio is crap, so definitely don't want to have that in there. But this is the whole system here, and we have these dispensers. So this is like AFK mode, so if I just want the items, don't care about the XP, I turn this mode on, I push this button though, and then they don't die, so then they fall in here. I'm gonna turn this off though because I don't want them hanging out here. And then this is when you can do the XP mode, so you stand here, close these trapdoors behind you, and you just swing at them. And I think to add another layer of lava so that they're a one-hit kill. I think you have to have like an enchanted sword for these to be 100% one hit, which kind of stinks, but it is what it is. So, and you have to make sure you stand right in the middle, otherwise they can kind of hit you with their lasers occasionally. So that's how this works, and it works really, really well. As you can see, I already have quite a few levels here, so I think next episode— oh gosh, this is so loud, I just realized this is like probably like killing your ears. Next episode, I would like to go to spawn and build just a little teeny tiny like fish shack sort of thing, to sell all of this cooked cod, because like now we're definitely not going to be struggling for food anymore. There's so much of it in here. So we'll sell some of that, restock some sea lanterns and stuff, and also just check out some of the other new shops around spawn, and then we can move on to bigger and better projects, or maybe not bigger because this took forever. It took like probably 24 hours in total to do, like collectively. So I'm very glad, very, very glad I'm done with this project. It turned out to be the bane of my existence. But anyway, that is going to be the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you next time.